Hello students, this is Ms. Schneller. For Aerospace Project Lead the Way, I am about to go away for a week to go to a conference where I'm going to learn all different kinds of interesting things about education, and I wanted to make sure that you were able to use white box learning and get started on the next unit so that you don't have to spend a week watching videos in class and not really moving forward with our lessons. So what you need to do is open Google Chrome and then type in white box learning, all one word, and you can see my computer knows it well, .com. Click enter and it should take you right to the website. Once you're in the website, click on login, and you are a student and we are doing gliders, so you're going to click right here. Your student ID is the same one that you use to log in on everything. My ID is a little shorter. And our group code is XPET, and I'll have that on the board so you can see it easily. And that's the same for both of my classes, and you do not have to worry, it is not case sensitive. The computer will automatically type it in capital letters for you. Click login and it takes you to the home page. Remember to select no for its password. And you have several sections to white box learning. The section you're going to be working on this week while I'm out is the research section. And it should take you about a week to get it done. So we're going to click on research. We can see again there's tabs up here. So if you ever get into the wrong section, you go to home, go back to research, and the research tab is right here. We have already covered engineering design process earlier this year in our units. So you do not have to read that, but you are more than welcome to open it up and look at it. This design challenge is going to tell you more specifically about our challenge once we get to the designing part of it. So you can poke around in there if you want, but again, it's not necessary yet. What I want you to do for the first lesson, so what you'll do is what we normally do, which is go to Classroom, and you'll find a new assignment. It's not in there yet. It's scheduled to pop up for you when your class is ready for it. And that is going to give you directions. I know that we usually hesitate, but there are usually directions written right there on the assignment. When you open that up, there'll be a document. It'll be called 4 Forces of Flight. You'll see it tells you again all the directions that you need right here, what you need to do. You're going to go to White Box Learning, you're going to do some research, read 2 different pages, complete this activity. After you turn this in, you're going to take a quiz. So there's all this information that you have to know that you're going to put into this document and assignment. And you're going to find that here in the history section, and also here in the principles section. So the principles section is really what you're going to focus on for the document that you'll have in your assignment on Google Classroom. And you can see there's a lot of information, both here and in the history tab. Let me actually go back to that one for you. So you can see there's a lot of information. So please make sure that you are going through that and reading it carefully and reading it for understanding. Make sure that you're understanding it. If you don't understand it, read it a second time. If you don't understand it then, you may, according to the directions the substitute gives you, either raise your hand and ask her, or you may quietly ask your neighbor if the substitute permits that. Once you are done with the document in Google Classroom, you're going to turn that in, and you're going to come back to Gliders 2.0, and you're going to take the quiz on background. Now, the neat thing about this is it will keep the more difficult part of the quiz open for you. It will keep the 4 Forces of Flight open for you while you take the quiz. However, you won't be able to get into the history section. And the quiz is on both history and principles, so that's why you need to read both. And yes, it does let you read it as you go along, but please remember, I'm only resetting your quiz grade once. So if you take it the first time and you get less than a 70%, I will reset it. If you take it the second time and you get less than a 70%, that's your quiz grade. Whichever of the two is higher is which one you will get. So I really, really, really recommend that you read and understand the material before you jump into the quiz. When you're done with that, and it will probably be the next day, that's probably at least a day's work, You're going to go back into Google Classroom and the next assignment will be available for you, and that is Newton's Laws. You're going to come to whiteboxlearning.com, open Research, and go to Science of Flight. Here you'll find material on learning about how Newton's laws affect the science of flight. You'll also see here there's an engineer tip. When we move on to the designing part of this unit, you'll want to come back here and notice the engineer's tip. They'll really help you with your glider designs. But for now, I'm going to go back to Classroom, and I see that I have a document to complete on Newton's laws. And again, you'll see that the directions are written here. They'll also be written in the assignment part of Google Classroom, so there shouldn't be any confusion about what to do. You're going to use the information here, and you are probably going to have to make inferences on this particular assignment because the assignment's going to ask you to agree or disagree with the statement, give an example of the motions. When you are done with that, there will be no more Google Classroom assignments for Whitebox Learning. Well, for research in Whitebox Learning. The next thing you're going to do is read weight, and I know it's going to be tempting to jump ahead and take the quiz, but again, remember, I'm only resetting your quizzes once. And you'll notice, as you get in here, there's a formula, and then there are different ways to calculate problems depending on what it's asking you for. So again, since you only get to take the quiz twice, I'm going to really recommend that you read through this and puzzle out the problems on your own before trying to take the quiz. And again, with permission, you may quietly talk to a neighbor about it if you're feeling stuck. After you complete weight, you're going to move on to lift. And it's the same story here. You're going to read all the information, go over the engineer's tip, and then this one is called a worksheet. It's not called a quiz, but it's basically a quiz. You'll see here there's a formula they're asking to do, and in this one, you don't actually have access to the reading. So you'll want to make sure that you have that done ahead of time. Drag and roll don't have their own quizzes, but you should read that information. It's important to know. It's going to be needed for your design process. If you ask me questions about drag and roll, I'm going to have you go back to this section. Then you're going to read about pitch, take the quiz on pitch, and yaw and optimization, again, don't have quizzes. However, if I feel like I need to go back and make quizzes for any of the sections that don't have a quiz, I can certainly do that. So please read, please be respectful, and you'll need those sections. If by any means you somehow finished all of that, and you're ready to move on to the next section, and that means that you have passed your quizzes, that you have done all of the work and turned it in. You may move on to the engineering section. When you see it takes a moment to load, it might take longer on your laptops. That's okay. Just be patient. And I see a blue screen and I don't see anything else. In order to figure out how to make something happen on this page, you're going to come over here to the help section. And there's an entire help section where you can read how to use the design tools that are provided for you by Whitebox Learning that are going to allow you to design your own wooden gliders that we will later build. I really hope that you enjoy the research as much as one could possibly enjoy research. I understand. Please be really respectful and well behaved, and I can't wait to share what I learned with you when I come back, as well as move into designing our gliders when I get back. Thank you very much.